Today we're going to be talking about how FedNow is coming to take away all of your liberty and all of your money. Well, actually, I don't necessarily think that that's true, but for now we're actually going to talk about this new FedNow service that's really starting up, and it's becoming a very popular topic because people are confusing or kind of saying it's the same thing as the federal digital currency. So is the federal digital currency the FedNow? Let's actually talk about the differences. FedNow is basically a service that would speed up the way banks transfer money between banks. As Dave Ramsey talked about in his channel, it makes no sense really why it takes so long to actually transfer money between your bank account. If I want to send my some money to my brother, it takes like 2 or 3 days to get there. Why? In 2023, I could send an email and it'll get there instantly. Now, with this antiquated banking system, it means that things are not as fast as they should be. If you think about it, as Dave Ramsey mentioned on his show, the slower money is, the more problematic it is for the economy, because you have less freedom to make transactions that you think are best suited for you, and it just slows down the economy in a way. If you think about it, if you speed up the supply of money, it would actually allow for a lot more freedom of action. You would just know instantly where the money is. But the current system is really old. It feels like the 1970s, and it really is a big problem. So Federal Reserve has a system for member banks where they will be able to have instantaneous transactions between banks. Now the bank has to opt in to the service, and it would not be something that you could personally become involved in. In other words, you can't download a FedNow app and then transfer money. That's not really how it works. The way it works is you would have a normal bank account, and if you have an account with JP Morgan and you want to send it to someone on the Bank of America network, if both of you if both member banks are part of FedNow, then the money is going to be transmitted instantly. So that's really an interesting development. I don't know, obviously with something that kind of boring and uncontroversial, you're going to get some people who say they're just going to be taking away all of our money and telling us to buy green cars that we don't want to buy with our Federal Reserve digital note. Well, the FedNow is not really the federal digital currency. And from what it looks like, it doesn't look like it would stop you from really doing anything. It would just be a part of how transactions could take place between banks. If you think about it, even as the system exists today, if you have a judgment against you, or you've been convicted of a federal offense, the government already can take money out of your bank account in order to fulfill somebody's penalties. So the idea that the federal government would start having new powers to really be involved in banking, that's not quite true. Now, Federal Reserve digital currency, that's a completely different matter. Like both Dave Ramsey and I both think that's a big problem, because if you think about it, that would be very different from just saying that you could access your money in your bank account with an app. Instead, your money would actually exist only digitally. You would have an app and you could transfer your money between individuals, but the digital currency would be a centralized one by the Federal Reserve, and they could create all kinds of rules and regulations about how you spend your Federal Reserve digital currency. They could even make it expire after a certain period of time, or they could disallow certain transactions. So even the Federal Reserve has said that they don't have the power to create a Federal Reserve digital currency. And I don't think that Congress would ever give them the power to do so, because it would be pretty unpopular. If you think about it, there's really no need for the Federal Reserve digital currencies. You have like the cryptocurrencies, and also you have some stable coins that are actually based upon short-term government interest notes and stuff like that. So there already are ways to send things instantly. So you could even question, do we really need FedNow? Because it's possible even today, even with our antiquated banking system, to send money instantly. You could use Venmo, you could also use Zelle, you could use cryptocurrency, you could use stablecoin. There's quite a number of ways. Even PayPal is theoretically, is to some extent, or there's a lot of things that exist at this point in time that allow people to send money instantly. But I don't necessarily think I have a problem with FedNow, because it would be a transaction between banks to send the money instantly. I don't see how that is a negative at the moment, considering that right now transactions happen extremely slowly, and just makes you wonder if that really works for the vast majority of people. I just don't think people want to wait 2 to 3 days for the transactions to go through. But you know what? There's always going to be some people who would oppose it. Now, how about Danny? What does he think of FedNow?
I like the idea of it. I don't think it has anything to do with the Fed coin so much. I think it is important because a lot of the times I want to send money to a different account, and then it takes like a week to do it. So that's pretty lame. I want it to be instant sometimes. So this will be a nice adjustment for those kinds of activities.
Well, that's it for this channel. Click the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. And give me ideas on the next topic you'd like me to cover too. That would be cool.